If you find yourself with a camera in your hand and want to learn how to use it, please subscribe to this channel, like the videos, comment below. Hi Photos family, we just recently celebrated Independence Day in the United States, and with that we celebrate by having fireworks shows. So I took my camera along with me and I had fun taking pictures of fireworks, playing around with the exposure and how to get the best exposure rate without the smoke trails in the background and all of that. So let's go into detail. Let's talk for a few minutes about how I shoot fireworks. Not necessarily that it should be how you do it, but there are some things that we want to capture and remember in the photograph. Let's go into detail about how we need to set our cameras and what we use to adjust and all these details of getting a good firework shot, because there's nothing like getting a firework that has exploded and it is I guess really the effect is spreading apart, but the embers are cooling down and showing a real rich color too. Also, the makeup of the firework. How do we capture the brilliance of that moment that we recall and we remember we love so much, of the explosion with the great color? Not let the photo go too dark, or not let the photo go too contrasted or too bright, because I'll just be honest, I've shot fireworks almost every year. Photography, speaking from the digital format side, how do we set our cameras to capture that brilliant image we really want? I wanted to stop the motion, number one, so I didn't want to see the streaming firework as the firework shell went up into the air, because I knew if I were to watch one firework, I would see the propulsion upward, but then there would be a slight delay as that propulsion stopped and the fireworks shell comes down a little bit and then bursts. I liked the idea of getting the view of the stream upward and seeing the explosion all in one image, but I knew that I would have to watch the first firework go up and then fizzle out to see if there was another one that would come up right at the same time, so I could capture that looks like a candle. It's not necessarily a Roman candle and firework type, but it looks like a candle going up because that's the propulsion of pushing that firework shell up in the air. And then the first one that went up would explode while I could capture the fire trail of the propulsion of the second one coming up. So really, to get that look of the fire trail going up and the explosion in the sky requires two fireworks. Now, if you take two images and make a composite image with one fireworks trail upward in propulsion and the explosion, that's one way of doing it. I'm weird, and I fully admit that. I'm not the usual type of photographer who does the easiest thing, and I'm not saying that they're wrong in doing that. All of my description is obviously very prejudiced toward my work. I like my work more than anybody else's because it's mine. I would like to put the quality and the detail and the touches into it that I would want in a photograph. So I don't mean to be putting anybody else down. That's not my point. But I like to get everything I can in the frame of a photograph as it's exposed without having to do a lot of post-processing, touch-up, or addition. That's what I'm really trying to say here. So the secondary propulsion upward, you get to see that trail as that firework goes up. The first one that's already been up is now coming down and getting ready to explode from its being pushed up into the atmosphere. The second trail is being laid and it's visible while the first one explodes. So it looks like a very big flower. From the horizon on upward, you can see the propulsion trail like a stem of a flower, and the first firework exploding like the head of the flower, the blossom. So I love getting those kind of pictures, and I did my best to capture both of them just at that very split-second moment where I would open my shutter for maybe 1/8 of a second or 1/10 of a second to get the color, the explosion, the bright firework, and be able to expose the color of the embers as well. but I would also be able to have that sharp focus of what the camera lenses usually symbolize with infinity, and not have a great detail of grainy coloration or specked detail in the sky, starting between like 9:30 and 10 at night when it's nearly fully dark. Catching those fireworks, the ISO has to be bumped up so that you can properly expose your photograph, but your shutter speed can't be so slow that it allows the motion blur, so your contrast is good there between the night sky, but also being able to see the firework and as bright as it should be while not washing the color out. Those are hard details to work together. But then the focus also of where that firework has erupted, the eruption of the firework is just fantastic. That's one of the things that makes it so awe-inspiring, so intriguing. So that eruption is necessary, the capturing of it, but the stop motion of it, being able to freeze the color and the motion of that firework is hard when you're trying to create enough brightness for the firework to be exposed properly, and to be able to get the action of the firework motion in focus enough with your aperture that you're not overexposing other parts of the photograph either. Like the video, comment down below if you found something of interest, and subscribe to join our Photos family. Thank you so much for watching. God bless.